Well, sir, it's late afternoon as our scene opens now. And here, walking along the alley toward the small house halfway up in the next block, we find Mr. Victor Gook and his son, Mr. Rush Gook. The gentlemen are returning home from Tatman's vacant lot, where the latter apparently enjoyed a brilliant career at third base. For he's saying,
I had 3 putouts in a row to my credit in the 4th inning, and 3 in a row in the 5th. Talk about your red-hot corner. Third base was sure the red-hot corner this afternoon. I must have handled 20 separate and distinct grounders.
You were wonderful, all right.
Well, you saw me.
Yes, I did. And I couldn't help muttering to myself, he's wonderful. That man is wonderful.
Did you happen to be looking when I scooped up Bluetooth Johnson's wallop?
I don't...
It took a crazy bounce. Hit a rock or something. Anyway, it acted like it was going to go foul. But I was on my toes. I wasn't taking any chances. I stuck out my gloved hand and threw my body sideways.
Sitting on our back porch?
Man, stuck out my gloved hand, see, and threw my body sideways. I might have broke my neck, but I stopped that ball. Rooster Davis paid me quite a compliment. He sauntered over from his shortstop position and patted me on the back. That's feeling the old apple fella, he says. Rooster Davis very seldom hands out compliments. I was flattered. Why, the last time...
Hi.
Hi, Mom. Why, the last time that guy ever handed anybody a compliment was way back in 1935. It just so happened...
What's your mother got in her lap?
I don't know. Way back in 1935. It just so happened...
What you got in your lap, Corporal Stanwood?
Come here and see.
Way back in 1935. Huh? The last time Rooster Davis handed anybody a compliment was way back in 1935. It just so happened...
Grandpa Snyder when you were coming along the alley?
No.
Must have turned off on Kelsey.
He did. I noticed his wheelchair way up the block.
Grandpa paid me quite a visit. Only just left about 10 minutes ago.
I see you've also been at home to Ms. Harris.
Why?
Ain't that a Christmas card sample book there in your lap? No?
This is Grandpa Snyder's Christmas card sample book.
Don't tell me he's in the business.
He's in the business, and he's worse than all the rest of the people trying to sell me Christmas cards combined. He gets mad and shouts when you try to get out of buying.
Well, this is the same identical Christmas card sample book as Miss Harris has got.
Sure. Miss Harris and Grandpa Snyder are both representatives for the same company.
The Toledo concern?
Yeah. The outfit that gives you a free parking space for your automobile and your initials in your hat if you buy enough merchandise.
Mind if I look, Ma?
No, sit down. Help yourself.
Grandpa makes one more trying to line you up for Christmas cards.
Yes.
How many are there altogether?
I'd hate to count them.
They're certainly all enterprising salesmen. The summer ain't even set in yet. One generally associates Christmas cards with icy blasts and snow.
Here's a familiar one.
Huh?
Give me a kiss and make me feel fine. This is Christmas 1939.
Uh-huh.
Miss Harris has got it for sale.
Miss Harris has got all these for sale. Like I say, her and Grandpa represent the same company.
Wash off that dirty neck of yours and wipe away that sneer. I'm wishing you and your family a prosperous new year.
Move over, George. I want to look, too.
You've seen them all, Vic. They're exactly like the ones in Miss Harris's sample book.
Well, didn't you tell Grandpa you had dealings with a party connected with the same Christmas card company he works for? And that
You try to tell him something he don't want to hear sometime.
How you mean?
He pretends to be deafer than he is.
Yeah?
Soon as he wheeled his wheelchair here by the porch and produced his sample book, I said, "Oh, lands, Grandpa. Miss Harris across the alley sells them kind of Christmas cards." He put that black tin horn up to his ear. "What?" he says. "What?" I repeated my remark several times, but all he said was what.
Say, that's not a bad idea.
No, good idea. If I ever try to sell something, I'm going to pretend I can't hear. The person you're trying to do business with won't bring up any objections if you can't hear his objections.
Very true.
Give me a kiss, old girl of mine. This is Christmas 1939.
Give me a kiss while it's snowing and sleeting, and accept this heartfelt holiday greeting.
Darn Christmas card company runs that give me a kiss business in the ground. The verses on half the cards in there start off that way.
Give me a kiss full of Christmas time joys. Santa Claus is coming with candy and toys.
Give me a kiss to remember, my dear. And don't forget, December 25th is full of holiday cheer.
Now, who could a person send cards like that to except their sweetheart or somebody? A family like us certainly wouldn't order 2 or 3 dozen of them and mail them to friends and acquaintances. Like Mr. Buller and YY Flirch and them.
Here's one for Mr. Buller. Give me a kiss and then go away. I'm listening for Christmas bells on Santa Claus' sleigh. Here's one for YY Flirt. Give me a kiss before I get mad. A prosperous New Year.
Stop.
What?
Quit reading them silly things.
Okay.
Well, how come Grandpa left the sample book, Sade? Why didn't you make him take it away with him?
I tried.
Get away
hard
with it.
enough. But he made out like he couldn't hear what I was saying.
Same stud, yeah?
Sure. Lands, I was almost screaming. I says, Grandpa, there's absolutely no sense in you leaving your sample book here. We can't possibly give you an order. All he done was hold that trumpet up to his ear and say, what?
Well, could he hear your other remarks?
Oh, sure. I said, Grandpa, how's everyone at home? He said, just fine. I says, the girls both feeling well? He says, Mabel's had a little cold, but she's about over it. I says, are you warm enough out here? He says, very comfortable, thanks. I got a vest and 2 wool sweaters underneath my coat. I says, I'm afraid I can't buy any Christmas cards off you. He says, what? I'm afraid I can't buy any of your Christmas cards, Grandpa, I says. What? He says. What?
Can't you, old Roosty?
You bet. He hears just what he wants to hear and nothing else.
Here's a page of samples that haven't got that give me a kiss feature. Give me a hug.
Aw.
Sure. Give me a hug, old girl of mine. This is Christmas 1939.
Oh, my.
Give me a hug while it's snowing and sleeting, and accept this heartfelt holiday greeting.
The same verses, only it's changed to hug, huh?
Yeah. Give me a hug before I get mad. A prosperous New Year.
It's difficult to work up the true Christmas spirit during this summer weather. I need icicles.
Here's a verse I
and
haven't
snow.
seen before. Give me a hug for Christmas time's sake. If I don't receive presents, I'll jump in the lake.
You made that up.
Oh, look for yourself. Right here, all lettered in tinsel. Give me a hug for Christmas time's sake. If I don't
That's
receive...
out and out crazy.
Yeah.
The worst thing about Grandpa being here with his sample book was Miss Harris saw him.
Huh?
She stepped out on her back porch to water her plants and glanced over this way.
She probably didn't suspect Grandpa was a competitor of hers in the Christmas
Oh,
card
yes,
business.
she did. She spotted the sample book.
How you know?
I could tell.
Oh, it's a long distance from her porch, Greta.
Listen now, while I tell you what she done. She put down her sprinkler and turned this way and stared, with her hands on her hips.
Well, that don't prove anything.
Sure it does. Well, I wouldn't be surprised but what our voices carried over to her house. Mine could have, easy enough. I was shouting. I'm afraid I can't buy any Christmas cards from you, Grandpa, I hollered. Why, I'll bet my necktie she heard me. Sure.
Give me a hug, you saucy minx. Old Santa
I just
Claus.
couldn't do anything with Grandpa. Almost got myself hoarse trying to explain. Grandpa, I says, I can't give you an order. My next-door neighbor, Miss Scott, sells Christmas cards. Miss Harris across the alley sells Christmas cards. My sister in Carberry, Illinois, sells Christmas cards for the church treasury. Even my little boy sells Christmas cards. The children make 'em up at high school there. I might just as well have been talking to the garbage box. He sat in his wheelchair with his darn old trumpet to his ear and said what?
Very brainy old geezer.
I'll say.
Give me a hug or I'll kick your father. Holiday chimes.
Heard
ring
everything
on-
else I said. I says, Grandpa, we don't see much of you around Virginia Avenue these days. He says, I've been spending most of my time over on Clinton Boulevard. They're tearing up the street. I says, I read in the newspaper where it stated Beulah took a trip to Detroit, Michigan. He says, yes, visited a girl she went to business college with and her husband. But when I said, Grandpa, Miss Harris across the alley has got these same kind of Christmas cards for sale, it was a different story. What? He says. What? So now I've got this sample book to worry about.
And a brand new Christmas card salesman breathing his hot breath down your neck.
Yeah.
Back to kisses again here.
It's so.
Give me a kiss or I'll telephone the police. May the blessings of Christmas never cease.
Which concludes another brief interlude at the small house halfway up in the next block.